Thank you for joining us. I am Saranga from Tamil Solidarity, and joining us is Senan, also one of the leading committee members of Tamil Solidarity. We'll be discussing the election results, a massive shock with JVP winning a majority of the seats and a majority lost to many Tamil candidates up in the north and east. Senan, would you like to tell us a bit more?
See, the thing is, it is a shock. It's expected that JVP-led NPP will do better in Tamil areas following the presidential election, but it is still very unexpected result. Uh, Particularly in Tamil areas, but never in the history of Sri Lanka, a party like NPP managed to win in all parts of the Sri Lanka in this way. It never happened in this way before, particularly in the parliamentary election. Of course, particularly in the Tamil areas, winning in this way and so on. As you know, the NPP got a thumping majority right now, 141 seat, 159, like it's and so on. It looks quite a big, massive majority and the control of everything, etc. The key thing to take away from the kind of election result statistics, etc., is that the glorious so-called SLPP, the Rajapaksa party, smashed into smattering. It's got two MPs elected, probably get one on the national list, and that is a shock. That how they managed to get two people elected. That is real shock, because that was the mood. This is an anti in the old existing parties mood. It was widespread. We were in Tamil Solidarity, we pointed out many times, but the Aragalaya anger was widespread, and then it touched every part of the country. We repeated that point how many million times? Now you look at what happened in a certain sense. That's the main message in this election, if you want to read anything from this election. But in the electoral statistics, again, you will see as kind of destruction of the other regional parties, etc., also taken place. Before we go on to that, one important point to note is that this is one of the lowest turnout election. For example, since 2010, in Tamil areas in particularly, is one of the less enthusiastic election for a decade or so. In the south as well as in the north, is very low turnout. In some places, even less than 50%. It's very unusual for Sri Lanka. Usually have a higher turnout. Having said that, nevertheless, that those who went to vote in this election have voted for NPP. Right. In the north, the ITAG, for example, suffered all the town parties. Before that, the other paramilitary sort of parties that existed with the other establishments such as Plan Group and EPDP and etc. They're gone. They kind of wiped out as well. So they are seen quite rightly by people as part of the corrupted elite. They are part of the corrupted elite. Of course, we would not say that this particular election is a second Aragale. This is what some of the JVP people are saying. This is a second Aragale. We won't say that. However, the rebelliousness also felt in this election. That is very clear. We cannot hide. That's very clear. There are certain rebelliousness against the establishment and the anti these corrupted individuals, etc. On that basis is united. People, the whole country united, come together in the past in the Aragale, and this one as well, they voted against. That's the only unity. But the thing is with the Tamil party, ITAC, for example, if you look at it, like in places where these big talkers like Sumandran and Goa, etc., got made quite a large number of votes in the past, that's where the NPP got a lot of vote. So it's rejection of these people in some sense as well in number of places. And the ITAC, for example, got 2 seats in the north. With the rest of the 5 seats is 5 seats. 7 seats. It's for rest of the 5 in the east. In particular, 3, Anpara 1, Tringo 1, and so on. So basically, partly because the tension exists and also the establishment, etc., and the recent past as well, and so on, various other aspects, not just one personality or this or that reasons. But apart from that, but also in the north, if you look at the Kilinochchi area, Vani area, for example, a little bit different, etc. So it's not like, let's not overread into these things that, okay, yeah, that's completely gone, etc. And so on. Of course, in the north, in Vattukotte, in Coimbatore, in Nallur, for example, MPP become an important party. MPP is the main party in the north now.
And these are the heartlands of the Tamil
That's
homeland,
right.
so to say.
It is the main party in the north. Can you imagine that? So, in
Which is
terms of the people who are going to the parliament in the north, nobody heard about them in the past. So, the thing is that that's not a bad thing, by the way. But it is not. But it is. It's a kind of a change. Nevertheless, we have to understand why these particular changes have taken place. So yes, the Congress, the TNPF, Kajendramal Ponnambalam won. They also lost one seat. The kind of expected, but also they managed to hold on to one, and so on. So that's it basically in terms of the Tamil vote. And so on. So basically, it's just one party country now, one party rule at the moment, under the presidential control, the whole parliament exists, and so on and so forth.
yeah.
So that's the
So
kind of general outline of the result.
So we can see that a lot of people have voted for a change. They're tired of the corruption. They're tired of the economic burdens that they've been ongoing through the massive cost of living crisis since COVID, and they're looking for a new light, and they see that new light as NPP, even the Tamil people back home. But what does it represent for the Tamil people? Because now we've said that the old guards, the old timers that were in their positions for a number of years have lost it. So the trust is completely gone, which is official now with these results with NPP coming in. But what does it actually represent for the Tamil people? What do they want? Does it mean that they've neglected the national question, or are they still on that path, or what are they seeking?
That's an important question again, Sarangan, because the thing is that we did say, like I said earlier, that the MPP will gain more vote in these Tamil areas and so on. The reason we said that before is that the kind of the feel that exists on the ground. Of course, we also didn't expect this much, this much win of the NPP. We have to shamelessly admit to the fact that nobody expected that. I don't think even NPP expected to win in this way. But the thing is, we have to understand the mood on the people are euphoric when they saw the price of the egg gone down, right? The prices, the currency, the economy. What is the future? What's the future? Is that is not there for lots of people. They want some sort of a fix. Of course, does it mean that they've given up on democratic demands, etc.? No, yeah, we only care about this or that. No, there are two sides. Section of the Tamil leadership need to revise their ideas and so on right now. They have to start that process now. Do not simply say that, oh, these people are this and that, like we say already that these people are corrected and they didn't have a way to lead the people, etc., which is all correct. But, however, that's not all. That's not the whole picture. We have to read more into it. We have to understand a bit more what's going on in the society. How can you lead it? Like those we say these things. What is the force should lead the Tamil people? We always argue we were in the margin. Actually, if we are not in the margin, it would not have happened in the way that it is taking place right now, of course. But the thing is, what I mean by that we is that the people who wanted to build the political struggle among the people, that need to be there articulating the actual demands of the people in relation to the economy, in relation to the democratic rights, and also the national aspirations and etc. and so on and so forth. So so it's not enough to just simply say it's the fault of the leadership. It's not simply say that, oh, the unity didn't exist among the people, everybody in different directions, 6,000 people standing, that's why split the Tamil vote, and this is what happened. That's wrong. In a democratic space, we should not have a situation there only one choice exists for the Tamils. Within the multiple choice, not 6,000, even if you have a 6 million choice, the question is that you mobilize people to a particular political position. That's the key thing. We might have had 6,000 candidates or 600,000 candidates. It doesn't matter. People did go and vote for the NPP, no? So I think in a way that mobilization takes place in that way. Mobilization should be political. This is on the critique of the Tamil leadership, the usual garbage they might come up with reading the current
Yeah, just to add on to
result
that.
of the election. But the other side of the question you mentioned, Sarangan, is that the section of the NPP will come back and say, look at the Tamil people. They now voted with the national movement. They are part of the nation. We are rebuilding the nation as one nation, as Sri Lanka with a Zinga flag, etc., and so on. All these nutcases arguing about the national cohesion, all these national aspiration, that thing of the past. Now we are united together, Tamil, Sinhala, Muslim together. Rebuild the nation, Hara Hara, stand up for the national anthem. So the point is that that is not the thing on the put on the electoral debate, which is wrong. Some of the diaspora young people writing articles recently I've seen completely reading it wrongly. That's not the main topic that is being put on in the election in the parliamentary election. Of course, people are united together on demand. It's not that people are united and given up their demand. It's not the question of where they've given up the democratic right, they've given up the national aspiration, etc. But in fact, it's the question of demanding something, demanding the cleanup of the situation, demanding punishing the corrupted people, confiscate the money, improve the economy, give us the freedom, give us the democracy. So that's different question. You can't read. There is two aspects, multi-dimensional aspect to how people react in a certain way. They do. So people are actually asking for a long time. This kind of process existed. This been smashing the TNA forever. It's gone forever. There is no way we can talk about TNA anymore. But also, it's destroying the ITAC as well. Always, how long they have to listen to, okay, the India will come, the international will come, this so that we'll navigate through this and that, etc. While I'm going hungry, why I don't have the future. I have to choose which child I have to send it to the school. I can't afford it. All these problems are facing me. How long I have to put up with this? But then I can also notice that all these people we send as a representative, they are living in a nice life, luxury life, traveling around the world, etc., and so on and so forth. In a situation like such as that, a polarized situation such as that, and a sort of uprising in terms of the mass movement, in terms of the electoral representation, etc., will take place. Of course, it won't be pure, it won't be perfect as you might want it in terms of advancing the demands, but it will be expressed. And that's the element that we saw. I mean, we said that something must emerge in the north and east. The existing parties have gone. This is what we said it very clearly. Something new has to come. Is the NPP is going to be the something that is new? Of course not. We don't think this is permanent feature. Tamil people have voted for, immediately after the war, voted for Fonseca, voted for Maithripala Sirisena, etc., and so on. Tamil people have expressed hope, given opportunity whenever necessary, whenever they were told that this is possible, etc., they have expressed in the past. Of course, the parliamentary election is different, you might argue. It is true, it is different. However, this time they expressed the view that the 225 people can go, right? The demand, one of the key aspect of the Aragalaya movement, it was that. Further on, in terms of how that's going to be developed, Aragalaya did not develop that position, and so is none of the parties, including NPP, developed that position, and none of them have any policies, etc., to deliver it. This is where the problem is going to come. Now, the people gave them a thumping majority. It was a less enthusiastic election. But however, as though that is almost like NPP don't want to win, they don't want to have the power, they don't want to do it. But people said, we will give you this power, we will give you everything, go and do it. Go and do what we want. Get rid of them all, confiscate the money, punish the criminals, sort out who's the criminals in the during the Easter bombing, but also give us the land, give us the freedom, release all the political prisoners, etc. Political prisoners. They openly said in Trinco, 3 people they want that they will release. Where is it? PTA, abolished. They said, oh, we'll do it, or etc., and so on. On the next day, they will come down the price-wise. All these little talk, they said, okay, we prepared to trust you on this. We prepared to take a risk on this. And then we give you that. Let us see what you do. That's the core of it. That's the core of the election result. That is the united voice in the country. Existed before, to maybe surprised in the way it's expressed in the election, but it is expressed in the election. This is what we would read this one. But the question now The secondary other part of this question is that will it happen as they want it?
I guess so. In terms of looming debt with IMF, etc., and whatnot, so how do you foresee that his hands might be tied to do the things that the public might demand? For example, subsidizing goods or not privatizing certain aspects of the country, which might not drive the price down as intended. Where do you think that might lie in terms of where he wants to go?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there is a massive support exists for completely nationalizing, go down the road of the SWRD Bandana. It's a divided position exists in terms of, in fact, the capitalists are celebrating section of the capitalists, as you can see from the way the market reacted in Sri Lanka and the rupee and so on. But the thing is, however, is this particular policies that the NPP government is taking in relation to appointing war criminals into the cabinet, appointing the Chamber of Commerce guy as an advisor and so on, they're given enough signal that they're going to be a continuation of Ranil. Ranil said famously that he's handing over the baby. They have taken the baby themselves. That's how the signal they are giving. So I think in that sense, how they're going to deliver, if you ask me, I don't believe it, they will deliver it. They don't have the leadership and policies to deliver it. When Francois Mitterrand became a president in France, not that long ago, it's a bit long ago actually, but he wasn't even really a hardcore Marxist. He didn't present it like that, the way Anura is trying to do in the past. But when he got elected in a kind of a country, a sort of industrially developed country, first thing he did, release all the political prisoners, including those nutcases from the far right as well, got released. Lupin got released at the time from prison by Mitterrand, for example. He didn't really indiscriminate. He just released all the political prisoners. Why can't you do that on your first week? Why can't you release all the political prisoners? There are a number of people inside the prison now. For what? Without charge, etc. Very simple gesture. You do that. Why don't you release all the land necessary owned by the people? You're supposed to be Marxist now. And then why not take away the military camp, the massive military camp? You don't necessary. Cut the military funding. Cut the defense budget. People expressed that they can be behind you on this basis if you deliver it. Why can't you do that? Why can't you just abolish the PTA immediately? You're supposed to be, you have been on the protest along with us, fighting against the PTA. You faced the full blow in the full force of the PTA at times, some sections. Why can't you just get rid of that draconian law? Why don't you just abolish the executive presidency? There are a number of things that is possible on a democratic demand that can be delivered. Why don't you persecute or bring to justice those criminals who are criminals in relation to the Easter bombing? Of course, the NPP leaders, many of them have admitted in various speeches in the past, etc. Sirisena gave evidence and so on. It's nothing massively secret. Why not confiscate the wealth of these rich people who made the money? They didn't make the money. They were parliamentarian. They didn't do any work. All the wealth they have, Rajapaksa family and co, it's our wealth. Why not confiscate that and reinvest, for example? Why not? Because if you look at the Namal Rajapaksa going around and ridiculing Anura, saying, is the money is working. You see, our money is there and here, and also, etc. Also ridiculous statements. Why don't you show what you are capable? The thing is that from New York Times to number of places, it's published in terms of the corruption, looting, etc. taking place. Yeah, they may have legalized it. You can put up a new law that a number of countries have done in the past and say, look, where there is no evidence, even if there is no evidence of clear-cut corruption, you can still confiscate their wealth on the basis of no evidence of how you made this wealth.
Yeah,
There's
the
no
power to
evidence
change the
of how they
constitution.
made the wealth. So that kind of a thing people expect to happen. If this happens, yes, they can truly unite Sri Lanka on that basis, and then we can see. That is till then, you can't. Because these are democratic demands. You cannot simply demand unity from people while repressing their rights, repressing their freedom and aspiration. This is what we say, that this is not a referendum on the national question. It is not on that question at all. This is the national aspiration will come through. And I think if you build a political representation of the Tamil people right now in a clear-cut way, yes, that will express the national aspiration will come through. In fact, I would argue the national aspiration, the national question is heightened in the recent period in the Tamil area than before. People might read wrongly in this election, thinking that, oh, that is pushed back. This is not the case, we would argue.
I guess going on into our final part is now the diaspora and obviously the national question. If you look at the diaspora now, many of them are discussing about how it's a lack of unity and leadership, how the TNA have exploded in different parts, and there's different parts of there's no real leadership to lead the people, or there's not enough trust of the people. And even with the diaspora now, you can see that there's a massive election change that's happened, but the diaspora have not been pushed into action as such, or are not seeing this as a significant event that could deter the movement for an Eelam aspiration event as well. So what should we do? Like, what is the possibility of having actions of an organization in Eelam and also in diaspora?
See, whenever I hear this question of, oh, people should be united and that's the problem, and the leadership, they didn't lead it properly and so on, annoys me, really. We've been asking for a discussion. All these people who just really random low level of abstract statements like that, just come for a public debate and discussion. What do you mean by the unity? Tamil people have expressed unity a number of times. You ask them to go and vote for that guy, they voted. You ask them to vote for the war criminal, they voted. How long they can just go behind you, whatever, all the shit that you give it to them? What kind of a unity you're talking about? On what basis people should unite? That's the key aspect. On what basis we mobilize people? That's one thing. Second point is that, oh, you lead them. What do you mean leadership? Diaspora did not provide clear leadership. Which one? Tell me. Apart from the Tamil Solidarity campaign, there any perspective documents you can show me from any organization? Can you show anything, anybody put forward anything on the Aragalaya during that particular period? Did they do anything? Look at how people argued against what we did at the time in terms of engage with the struggle to bring forth the demands of the Tamils. Did they do that way? Of course not. Or did they do anything in relation to the expressing the widespread aspiration? The national aspiration flows through the democratic rights and the economic rights. It's not something random abstract entity called national aspiration. Why people want to live in a place without any rights, of course. So they never understood this thing. So what kind of a leadership? Leadership is it a leadership of promising that, oh, the UN one day will come, India will one day come, we should trust Modi? That's the main thing. Oh, trust Modi. That's what he told everybody. They choose to vote for another instead of Modi. Instead of Modi. This is what you said. So look, they do the same thing in Canada. What kind of a political representation are you giving to the Tamils? What kind of you wanted to go behind the Conservative Party here, for example? What kind of come on, wake up, please. Look, Tamil leadership, you are getting destroyed by the people for a particular reason. Just time to wake up. Let's build a political platform. Let's mobilize people on a proper aspiration, proper demands. Let's build a struggle platform. Why can't we do that? It's time to wake up. Everybody come together. Let us show by example to the people what the unity means, what kind of unity we can forge. You can talk the talk. We can't. All these people who talk about this little shit about having a go at the people, you can't get them sit down in one room one evening and have a chat about come to a political agreement on economic demands, etc. Oh yeah, if they start from 1948, blah, 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 blah. How long that's going to go on? That's the question. How long we have to put up with it? That's the question. What's the benefit for us? How long we listen to this shit? That's a question we are faced with. Let's have a wake-up call. Let's treat this as a wake-up call. Why can't we come together? We call on everybody to come together to sit down, establish a struggle platform of struggle. Let's bring everybody, doesn't matter whoever we can, let's bring everybody to agree on a principle basis the platform of struggle to build a political campaign, a political position of the Tamil people on the basis of national question. Yes, right to self-determination, including separation, but just that. What is your position on other economic position? Will you go every time you went to the parliament, you voted with the corrupted people. You voted for every economic damage they have done in the country. You voted for attack on all the ordinary people in the parliament. Let's stop that. Let's bring to an end to that particular tradition. Let us start something new. Let us start something, a proper fight back of the Tamil people. That mobilization will be the strong mobilization. That will be the music of the future. I think we have to build that. Let's start now. Let's not delay it.
I guess just to add on is, what do you think about the dominative narrative is that you should go to the MPs, go to the UN. This is our form of, political aspiration that we can achieve accountability and justice. Because I think many of the diaspora is still stuck in that loop and they don't have any answers other than that. They're maybe seeking answers, but they can only understand that aspect because that was the dominative narrative.
See, I'm not saying they should not go to the lobby or etc. and so on. But that's the only thing they do. That's the problem for us. You don't build nothing. And you just want to do that and present it as that's the politic of the Tamils. You go to the UN every year, you go and back the MPs. Is that the politics of the Tamil people population? Is that all we can do? Why? I ask that question. Majority of them who claim to be in the leadership, who pretend to be the leaders, pretend to be the political committee. I am including the new generation of young people in this critique, by the way. They all cannot answer this question of what are the other political work we can do. None of them. Can't we have a proper discussion? All they're concentrating on going to this one. This is why our critique. We are not saying don't go there, but that's the only thing you're doing. That's the only thing you are saying, that the political representation, building a political representation is another fight, is another struggle. It's linked to your clear political position. Take a clear political position on economic demands and democratic demands. You stand with the Tory party on that policy. Of course, you're going to tell the Tamils that, oh, we'll go to the UN and then come back and we'll see. That kind of leadership should go away. Wipe them out, clean them up. That's correct, what they're saying. So I think in a certain sense, that's it. Is the NPP is the solution? The Tamil people saying it as a solution is wrong, of course. But they want to aspire to see that as a solution. That kind of thing exists in the Tamil diaspora or inside the country. They would vote for that. Unfortunately, there is a divergence taking place. What is happening in Sri Lanka among the Tamil population, Tamil-speaking population, what is the diaspora, what's happening in the diaspora are completely different direction. It's going in a different direction. What is a condition in the Tamil Eelam is not completely understood or articulated in the diaspora. There's no clarity exist. All they are asking, section of the diaspora, oh, the glory of the LTTs should be maintained. That's the only aim. Is that enough? If you can just fund for that, and that's enough, do you think? No, how long people are going to do? Of course, we shall never forget the past of the sacrifice, etc., and so on. But we have to build the future. We have to build the future struggle. You cannot just simply dwell in the past and think that that's enough. It's not enough. That's the situation that we are dealing with at the moment. So we have to understand there is the political weakness of the Tamil leadership and the Tamil sort aspiring leadership, the Tamil new diaspora or young people section of them, etc., and so on. Let us call it the spade is a spade, as they say. Political weakness. You do not understand the politics. You never engaged in, when it hit you in the face, you get surprised and you started theorizing, you started all the bluff, all the things that is coming up right now. If you go back and read, oh, what did they say about this one when it happened? What did they say about that one when it happened? Then you empty, void. You enter the void. You enter the void. There is a void exist in the political brain of all these political leadership. That need to change. That need to change. We appeal to all the young people, who are thinking people, come together to struggle. We are not saying that what kind of a force would emerge, it should be us, blah, blah, blah. We don't have that kind of attitude. We are saying a new force of clarity of struggle of the Tamil people must emerge. and we
And
must build it.
on that note, if you are serious about joining, and if you want to discuss with us, please do contact us on Tamil Solidarity. And thank you for joining us.